Omega Virus, Beta Hour. Level 1, Survival Horror. Moans came from the nearby shufflers. As a slave to normalcy, I gave my fellow students full support. Mornings at Millpeg High sucked, and there was no avoiding it. To make matters worse, my locker jammed. Opening only an inch. Come on, damn it. I wedged my fingers into the gap and pulled, but the groaning door held fast. Ow! I yanked back my hand to find a red dot forming on my pinky. Stupid piece of crap, I need my book. I slammed my head into the door and sighed. Game programming class made my junior year bearable. The joy of creating and manipulating a world was enthralling. But without my textbook, I'd fall behind. Again. Hey, Zach, a girl said. I froze. Girls never addressed me, let alone said my name. A trap. Caution to the wind, I turned. The blonde gamer girl bombshell, Tiffany Gainsborough, stood a few feet away, hands on hips, cheeks red, and breathing hard. Every day she wore baggy jeans, a shade of violet t-shirt, and a black baseball cap turned around backward. The only thing longer than her hip-length hair was her list of reasons she hated almost everyone. If the gaming gods existed, they'd made her boss-level fierce. As far as her personal life, she was part of a group calling themselves the Gamers Guild, and I knew nothing else. I scratched the back of my head. Hey Tiff. She rolled her eyes. Don't call me Tiff. No one can call me that. Tiffin, stop. I feel weird even talking to you. My heart sank. So much for conversation. She crossed her arms and scowled. You're a survival horror nerd still? I'm not a nerd, per se. More of an aficionado. So the answer is yes. Follow me. There's something you should see. Tiffany pointed at the hallway doors. A trap after all. Her guild probably wanted to torture me for my beta tester knowledge of the new Dark Days game. I cocked an eyebrow. Why should I trust you? You might kick my ass. Don't be a moron. You weren't my first choice. She said you're the expert. Two things piqued my interest. One, Tiffany said she, meaning another girl. And two, she called me an expert. Tiffany tapped her foot. Are you coming or not? I grabbed my backpack from the floor. Fine, but I won't give you any cheat codes or spoilers. She heaved a sigh and rushed toward the exit. Those idiots better not have touched that stupid dead thing, otherwise it might leave. Wait, I followed her, confusion filling me to the brim. What do you mean? You know, it might have crawled away. You called it dead. Dead things don't crawl. You'll see, Tiffany said, and I did my best to keep pace. Running sucked. She grabbed my arm and pulled me, her urgency unnerving. Without losing momentum, she kicked the door open. I tripped as we exited into the empty alley, but caught myself on the wall. Nothing made a sound, not even the chirping birds that nested nearby. The wooden fence across the alley had graffiti, which was unusual for Millpeg. Spray painted in green was an Omega symbol, with a large V overlapping. That's weird, I said. Do you think a gang has moved into the area? Tiffany ignored me, snickering. Figures. They must have let it somewhere. I turned from the odd tagging. I'm confused. You said something was dead. I'm telling you, dead things don't move. Scraping and a heavy thud came from around the building corner, only several yards away. What was that? I said. Tiffany seized my arm with a vice-like grip. This way! She yanked me around the corner and right into her friends. Dave Carnby, a heavy-set guy with an affinity for button-downs and dragon tees. Jeff Mason, a tall, tough guy senior in his trademark tank top. And Jesse Bluefield, the shy redhead cutie of the whole school, and my crush of 6 years. She always wore long-sleeved tees and open-toed shoes. My heart lodged in my throat. Jesse and I made contact, but I looked away. How could I face her? Not after an incident at her 10th birthday party. It was Halloween, and she dressed as a pink hedgehog. I'd known of her costume beforehand, so I dressed as a blue hedgehog. One accidental swing of a piñata stick later, she was out cold, and her parents kicked me from the party. We hadn't spoken since then. Jesse, really? You mean that loser? Dave scoffed. Don't you stalk him? No, Jesse gasped. I've stalked no one. Why would you say that? I asked for Zach because he knows his stuff. Wait, what? I cocked my head. Jessie locked eyes with me again, but she glanced away, her pale cheeks turning rosy red. I wanted to say more, but I saw something beneath our feet. A dark, crusty substance, like coagulated blood, leading to the basement window. I sighed and rolled my eyes. You guys threw something dead in there, didn't you? It was a mushy ball of flesh and blood, Jessie said. We followed it from the courtyard. Right before you got here, it crawled into the basement. Jeff shrugged. A dying raccoon. There was no need to get you. I turned to leave. This is a sick prank. I'm leaving. This is serious, Zach. Jessie grabbed my hand, sending tingles through my whole body. You're brave. Will you tell us what it is? Dave shoved me. Go look, but hurry. I'm hungry and the cafeteria is calling my name. Food has you on speed dial, Jeff chuckled. Shut up, asshat. I stared at the window. Why me? Dave snorted. You're the survival horror expert. In video games. Tiffany kneeled next to the window, pulling it open. We'll be right behind you. Hell no, Dave crossed his arms and took 3 large steps back. This isn't my genre. Jeff turned away. No thanks, I don't want rabies. Jessie kicked a pebble and lowered her head. Zach's brave, he'll be okay. Tiffany growled. Cowards! Don't worry, Zach, I'll be behind you, even if these jerks won't. Thanks for caring, I smiled. She shook her head. Trust me, I don't. I'm as curious as a cat. Sighing, I handed my backpack to Jessie. Be careful. She squeezed my hand and the tingles flowing through me tripled. I never wanted her to let go. Tiffany motioned with her hand. Go, damn it. With a deep breath, I crawled through the window, but I misplaced my foot, slipped, and landed on my tailbone. A sharp pain shot up through my spine, and I almost screamed, but the sticky substance my hand landed in turned my stomach. I found my feet and wiped my palm on a nearby tarp. The basement stank of mildew and something fouler. Strewn around were ancient desks, along with old whiteboards and flat sports balls. The window provided the only light source. Tiffany landed beside me and held up her phone, using it as a flashlight. She handed me the cell. Drop this, and you're dead. I'd believed her threat, so I held onto it tight. We followed the blood trail across the room, near to the hallway door. The coagulated gunk led under a tall steel cabinet. I sucked in my breath as something squished nearby. It's behind there, Tiffany said. I inched forward, adrenaline pumping. What the heck was I doing? The only result was getting a virus. The spooky basement threatened to steal my courage, but I pictured Jessie's freckled face, and my bravery returned. I needed to put the poor raccoon out of its misery. Grasping the cabinet, I tried to pull it to the side, but it teetered and fell toward us. We hit the ground, pinned underneath it, and Tiffany's phone sliding away. You idiot, Tiffany said through her teeth. Sorry, I said as we struggled, but we couldn't lift it an inch. The squishing sound stopped, becoming a scraping. In my peripheral, a grotesque, bloody lump crawled toward us from around a trash can. The disgusting mass pulled itself using 5 bony digits. A crushed skull showed its brains through straggled hair, and its eyes gave a soft, green, but lifeless glow. It looked too human for comfort. The creature gripped something in its other hand, a twitching rat. Entrails hung from the animal's body, as its captor tore away a chunk of meat. It chewed with an open mouth, revealing jagged teeth. A long, airy groan scraped out of its throat, and its eyes landed on us. It dropped the mouse and pulled itself forward. I set my jaw and put all my strength into pushing the cabinet. We're in trouble. Is it there? I can't see it. Tiffany tried to twist, but couldn't. Yes, we have to get out of here. It hissed as its clawed hand came within inches of my face. Whatever was happening, it was worse than rabies. The basement door opened, and Mr. Murph, the janitor, stepped beside us. He held a broom in his hand and squinted at us through the dim light. "Help!" I said. "What the hell are you doing in here, making out?" Unaware of the bloody thing, he stepped right next to it and kneeled, lifting the cabinet just enough to free me. I crawled out in time to see the creature grab Murph's ankle and sink in its fangs. His blood-curdling scream reverberated off the walls. The cabinet landed on Tiffany again, and she grunted. I crawled backwards and stared, as the bloody creature's head whipped around like a starving dog. Although strong and muscular, Murph couldn't pry it free. "Help me, moron," Tiffany said. Next to a sink was propped an aluminum baseball bat. I grabbed it and swung at the vicious creature, crushing its head until the bat hit the floor. "What in the hell?" Tears streamed from Mr. Murph's eyes. His wound was already black and rotting, with green veins climbing up his leg, up underneath his pants. I met his terrified gaze, and then his eyes rolled back, and he fell flat. "Get this off me," Tiffany said. The window was across the basement. I needed out. My gut told me that Murph wouldn't stay dead for long. "Oh shit," Tiffany said. "Zach, please help me." Murph's eyes were opened, glowing a dull green. He looked around confused. I took the moment to grab the cabinet. With everything I had, I lifted it, allowing Tiffany to escape. Together we ran to the opposite side. I held out my hands and boosted her to escape. I jumped but couldn't reach the edge. The reanimated custodian stood and moaned, eyes fixated on me. "Help!" I jumped again, still coming up short. Jessie appeared in the window and saw Mr. Murph. She screeched and caught my hand. Jeff joined her, grabbing my other. They lifted me, but Murph grabbed my ankle. I twisted and screamed, kicking at him. He snarled and yanked, but my foot connected with his jaw, and he crashed back through the pile of desks. I scurried out of the basement, and they let the window fall shut. "What happened in there?" Dave said, eyes wide. "If someone died, I'm out of here." "That bloody thing bit Mr. Murph," Tiffany said. I scrambled to my feet, eyes darting. Were there more of them? My heart thundered, a realization coming over me. "So what was it?" Dave said. "Was it a you-know-what?" "Tell me it was a you-know-what." It was... I fought for words. It couldn't be possible. There was no way it was possible. Dave threw down his hands. "Spit it out!" Screams erupted from within the school building, doubling and tripling as panic ensued. Someone pulled the fire alarm, which now blared. In the windows, students attacked each other. It was spreading fast. "Damn it, man!" Dave grabbed my shoulders. "What the hell was it?" I swallowed hard, shaking my head. It was a zombie.